Thanks for staying with us. The town of McGregor, slowly emerging from isolation after facing an unprecedented crisis for more than a week. The town had been completely cut off from the nearby town of Robertson due to extensive damage to a vital bridge caused by heavy rains and flooding. This essential transportation link left the town in a state of isolation with no access to vital resources from neighbouring areas and access to basic necessities, to essential services. Nasiphi Same joins us live from there now. Nasiphi, a very good afternoon to you. Residents there already left, essentially cut off from everyone else. In terms of mop-up operations, how are things going there?
Well, I'll take you back just a little bit. The situation in McGregor was so dire that a distress call from the municipality to the province disaster risk management, including the gift of the givers, was made by the executive here, asking for assistance, as you mentioned, that link or the bridge linking McGregor to Robertson, which is the nearest town where many residents in this community buy the essentials, was washed away completely, meaning there was no access in and out. And making our way to McGregor, we had to use the back route, a trip to Robertson, which occasionally takes about 20 minutes. It takes us about 45 minutes on gravel road using those back routes. And at this moment, we do understand that many people have been advised, obviously, to use their bakkies when they are using that particular road. But I'll just show you some of the visuals of this particular spot where we are standing. This used to be people's homes, washed away by heavy currents of a dam that collapsed a bit further up in the mountain, in conjunction with the river that is not too far from where we're standing, washed away these homes. And this is just a reminder, or rather, this is all that is left for the residents that are basically were residing at O+ here in McGregor. And basically, if I can say, this seems to be a valley of some sort, quite low-lying. But I will go now to one of the residents that actually lived here, Robert. Yes. Thank you so much for your time. But we were speaking earlier, and I was just asking you to paint a picture for us, for those that obviously didn't see the visuals. What happened on that particular Monday?
It was raining, obviously, the night before, and the whole day, the whole Monday. And it happened very, very fast. We monitored the river. It was no cause of concern. It came close up to our backyard, but it was not looking too dangerous. But obviously when the dam broke, that was when we were, and this is where we are exactly standing. The water came down this road that used to be a road here. And we couldn't get out our front door. And we couldn't get out the back, because the river and the stream or the current in front of our house, it just became one, and we were an island.
On that note, Robert, you were speaking about how you were assisted by 2 villages.
Yes.
As you're saying that, you became an island and it was just stream all around the house.
Yes, we were rescued by 2 volunteers from McGregor, Mark and Dirk, thank you very much. And they came down on their own and said, no, but there's people at O+ and we must rescue them. And they rescued us literally the last minute. It was a matter of life or death. Drop everything. You can't take everything with you or anything with you. Just, you have to get out of here. And that was that.
And when you got to the top or a place of safety, talk to us about those minutes. You said you received an SMS?
We have a O+ WhatsApp group. And on that day, obviously, nobody had time to send texted messages. So it was all voice messages. And actually my phone, while we were rescued, it got wet, and I could only access my voice messages 2 days later. And it's basically our farmer next door put the voicemail on. There's contents of a house floating past. The same minute our landlord put a voice note on, said it's Robertson and Mira. Their house is gone. There is nothing left. And it's just horrible. Awful. And then we arrived on top of the village, and that's about 2 minutes later. And Ronald, a friend of ours, she put a message on and said, Robert, the Mira, Lovemore, the dogs are here, but one dog is missing. So it was really a 5 minutes from when we got out and from when we were up in the village.
And when you got that text and eventually saw where your house was situated, you pointed the house to us and we couldn't see anything. What was going through your mind? Any emotions?
You have to be positive. I mean, to dwell on the negative, you can't. It makes it just so much worse. So the positive is we are alive. My 2 dogs are alive. The one dog that is lost, we could rescue him the next morning, or the farmer next door did. And I mean, a lot of people were anxious about this little dog, this little scallywag. And so, yeah, we are here and we just have to rebuild. That's all we can do. I mean, we are alive. We thank everyone. We thank the Lord. And
I'm curious about this rescue mission, Rob. 2 civilians came down. We actually couldn't come down here. We had to walk around and our car got stuck.
Yeah.
But they got here and you were talking about a stream, heavy currents. How did they do it?
I don't know how they did it. It was all so fast. We were waiting for them. I was actually on the phone and I was sending messages up to the villagers. I said, please get the emergency services now. The water is coming up the toilet. We are standing here in water. It's making funny noises. The water is coming from underneath the floorboards. And they said, Rob, help is on their way. And yes, well, they just came down. They also didn't know Oplas. I mean, they know Oplas, but they didn't know where everyone was staying. And they had to look for us. And they were one of the farm workers pointed them in our direction. And this is how they found us. And then it was really, you just, okay, grab your wife, make sure she's safe, she's out, make the dogs. I even went back and closed the door. My wife scolded me later. She said, did you lock the doors? I said, for what?
Rob, you speak about rebuilding, but I'll take it back to July when we had those heavy rains and many communities throughout the province were waterlogged and affected. You guys live in a very low-lying area. Did you in any way sense a sense of unsafeness, or rather your house might be in danger should we receive heavy rain?
Well, we didn't until it actually happened. We had heavy rains here as well. I mean, the road we came down where you got stuck is constantly flooded when it's a few days rain, because all the water collects there. But a few days later, it's gone. It wasn't a big deal. The river, yes, it sometimes flows very heavy and sometimes full, but we also had summers where there was no water in the river. It was dry. So as I said, I don't think the river was the problem. The problem was the dam.
We will have to leave it there. Robert, there, one of the residents at Opas. I'll ask my colleague just to show you. It seems to me that, where there was a road, as Robert puts it, it's now become a little stream. And further down the stream, where it's just rubble and, trees that have uprooted, is where Robert's house is, which was also uprooted when the stream hit this particular part of McGregor. We do understand that mop-up operations are indeed underway. The mayor not too long ago speaking to us, indicating that the road linking McGregor and Robertson will indeed be probably fixed in the coming week. and advising people that are obviously making their way into McGregor to use the back routes. And we were also, the municipality had indicated to us last night when we are coming into McGregor that they are going to provide escort, taking into account the back route and the fact that it is gravel. We did go past a few heavy-duty vehicles that are also making sure that that road is indeed safe to drive in. The municipality also indicating that there are a number of communities like where we are that are still without electricity supply, and they're working around the clock to ensure that they are back, or rather connected back to the grid.
Sure. Nasiphi Same, let's perhaps leave it there for now. Absolute devastation being cut off from nearby Robertson due to a bridge collapse. Residents there speaking about how it all happened and, gratitude, I suppose, for life itself as you look at the picture, the scene of devastation.